Hello, everybody. My name is Heroic Nerd, and this is Alan Scott's Green Lantern. This is Secret Origins. But before that, we have this little piece here. This is an abbreviated version of the Golden Age origins of Alan Scott's Green Lantern. Which, before we get into it, I wanna go over this real quick. Here we have, and excuse the bad quality of these issues. There is no reproduction of this. It was never reproduced by DC Comics. I found this on the internet, and it's just basically a print of the original, which this isn't bad. It's not the best quality, but this isn't bad compared to some of the stuff up there. Jesus, let me tell you, but let's read this stuff. His personal history. Into the humdrum reality of everyday life, into a world harassed by crime. Here comes a fantastic being with strange supernatural powers, a being determined to stamp out evil and bring justice where it has never been before. This is a man called Green Lantern. Okay. Out in the Great West, a train makes a test crossing over a newly constructed trestle bridge. So, does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. Suddenly, a deafening blast plunges the train of destruction below. From amidst the wreckage rises a lone survivor, Alan Scott, young engineer. Dead, all dead, but me. The man who was bucking our company did this, the murderer. Scott sinks to the ground as if under the spell of a train lantern he holds. This lantern I'm holding on to. What a queer light. Funny, I suddenly feel dizzy, faint. The eerie green light swells in radiance, and an ageless voice seems to come from within its aura of flame. I am the green flame of life. Listen, chosen one, and hear the tale of the green lamp. So, right now you can already see that the Golden Age, Alan Scott, his Green Lantern is based more in mythology as opposed to science. Silver Age is when all that science stuff would come in, but in the Golden Age, mythology was prevalent. It's all about the unknown. Where did the lantern come from? Well, we're actually going to find out. But as it is now, it's kind of left in a mystery. The story told by the Green Lamp many years ago in China. A meteor crashed, and its flaming liquid metal burst into a weird green flame that uttered a message to the people. Fucking weird space rock from space that can talk, right? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you go into the Silver Age and you start learning about all the Green Lanterns and you start learning about all the different aliens and all the weird stuff that's out there, then it starts to make more sense. In fact, this particular green rock was retconned to be a part of all of that other legacy and all that other lineage. But we'll get into that later, some other issue. Probably a long time from now. But it talks, and it says, 3 times I shall bring flame. First to bring death, the second to bring life, and the third to bring power. When a lamp was fashioned from the flaming metal by an old Chinese lamp maker, it fulfilled the first prophecy by bringing death to the men who killed him. Flaming death, yes. They killed him, tried to take the lamp from him, and in return the lamp killed his attackers. Years later, a lunatic discovered and transformed the Chinese lamp into a train lantern. The lamp's lights shone on him, returning his reason and fulfilling the second prophecy, life. So it took this crazy person and it made him sane and gave him a brand new life. I want to thank you for all you've done for me while I was here. Forget about being here. Ever since you found that green lamp, you've been a new man. You're going out now to a new existence, a new life. That's nice. And now, the long arm of fate has brought the Green Lantern to Alan Scott. To you I bring fulfillment of the last prophecy. Power. Power to fight evil. Power if you have faith in yourself. Lose that faith and you lose the energetic force of the Green Lantern. For willpower is the flame of the Green Lantern. The Lantern then tells Alan to make a ring of part of the Green Lantern, a ring containing its flame, to renew its power. The ring must touch the Green Lantern once every 24 hours, he is told. Yeah, that's a rule that they sometimes follow, they sometimes don't. It's a ticking clock narrative in the narrative. It's a ticking clock that's used to generate more suspense. Sometimes it works, mixed results, you know. With this ring, Alan Scott determines to avenge himself and bring about justice. I'll make those responsible pay for the lives lost in that train wreck. And so Alan Scott avenges the crime of the train wreck, and he is alone. He is overcome with a strange feeling. Somehow, I feel as if my destiny has taken hold of my life, that this is the beginning, that I must continue to fight evil with the ring and the possession of the Green Lantern. I can do it! Yes, he can. So it's a standard superhero origin story. He gets power and then decides to use that power for the greater good. Alan Scott is determined to carry out his faith in the Green Lantern's message. If I must fight evil beings, I must make myself a fearful figure. I must have a costume that is so bizarre that once I am seen it will never be forgotten. And so is born a dread nemesis of crime, the man who is to become the master of light. And I shall shed my light over dark evil, for the dark things cannot stand in the light of the Green Lantern. So that's it. That's how the origin story of Alan Scott came to be, but we are not done here, not yet. All right, so we have Alan Scott and he's established, but we're going to take a bit of a closer look. Starting on the next page, bam, suddenly we're in space. Right now, this section comes from Secret Origins Volume 3. If you guys haven't seen it, I did a video just like this for Jay Garrick. Here we're covering Alan Scott. He was in one of they gave him like half a story. It's like half an issue in like some, I don't know. They didn't do a whole lot for him, but what we have here is kind of interesting, and it sort of touches on what I was just saying about the Meteor being sort of attached to that science fiction sort of Silver Age stuff. So let's just read it. I am the green flame of life, and this is my story. More than 4 billion years ago, as you reckon time, the immortal inhabitants of the planet Oa desired to stem the tide of evil unleashed by an ambitious Oan named Corona. To this end, they devised a gargantuan power battery, myriad power rings, and a corps of dedicated star rovers known as Green Lanterns to wear those rings. Yes. Look at all the different aliens and stuff. All these things are clearly like Silver Age. But don't get me wrong, this is Alan Scott origin. So, gradually, self-evolving onto the Guardians of the Universe, the Owens eventually set themselves a second task: the gathering together and banishment of magic from their clockwork cosmos. That's very important, keep that in mind. They locked all the magic they had gathered into the heart of a star, where it was to remain for all of eternity. But even the scientific genius of the Owens was not without its flaws, for unknown to them, the mystic star heart had become a sentient creature. Myself. It's called the star heart. That's what it's called. Okay? One who knew that someday, despite the Owens, its sorcerous power would be released throughout the universe for good and ill. Against that hour I willed a portion of my force to break away from the sun that held me fast. So it's a portion of that magical energy breaks away. Spinning through interstellar space, I went for untold eons. My mistomagnetic field, whatever that means, gathering space debris about me until I resembled nothing more than a huge green meteorite. A few centuries ago, I entered the gravitational field of the third planet of a medium-sized star on the rim of the Milky Way galaxy. Earth. And here we are. So that's it. That's sort of touching on what I was explaining before, that the Green Lantern Meteor, at first, when you first read the Golden Age origins, it's presented as just like this unknowable thing. It's mythology, and that was okay. for the golden age in the 30s and 40s, but at the 50s and 60s, you needed more science to back these things up. People were more skeptical. That was the science fiction age, you know? So now we have this idea that the Owens, they took all the magic and they locked it away, and some of it got out and it crash landed on Earth. And now we have this. And with a deafening birth scream, a legend was born. The secret origin of the Golden Age. The tale of the Green Lantern. Scream! Look, there's the meteor. Crash. And yeah, it says, based on material appearing in All American Comics 16 to 18, 1940 by Martin Odell. I talked all about him in the previous episode. And Bill Finger. And elsewhere by John Broome, Gil Kane, Dennis O'Neil, and Alex Sovic. This one specifically was written by Roy Thomas, drawn by George Freeman, oh man, I can't even read that. John Simic, Greg Weisman, co-editor. I don't know. Always respect your comic creators. They don't work for that much money. Trust me, they don't. Anyway, moving on. So the meteor crash lands. Death falls from the skies. Flee, flee. We're somewhere in China, I'm guessing. Yet, though some fled, others, deemed wiser, concurred in their belief that it had only been a meteor after all. Thus, they drew near where I lay intact, but broken open, and there, in the heart of my shell, was a small pool of flaming liquid metal. Look, Chang, the lamp maker, approaches it without fear. And then my voice rumbled forth from the emerald glow before which the men trembled. 3 times I shall flame. First to bring death, second to bring life, and third to bring power. See? So it all comes together. Now we're seeing in depth the real story of what happened. Then I allowed my flame to expire. My metal began to cool. An old Chang spoke, more to himself than anyone else. Through his words went unheard. It has come, just as the old book said it would. He takes a part of the fallen star, and it does not hurt him. Such rashly will bring down the wrath of the evil one. So people are really super paranoid about this thing, which I don't blame them. It's fucking weird. Okay? Chang himself is an evil one, for they say he reads old volumes of sorcery. But Chang, enraptured, did not hear their whisperings. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants the ring. He took the piece of green metal home with him, and since he was a lamp maker, he worked it that night into the shape of a lamp made from the fire of the evil one. Well, these are kind of problematic depictions of Asians. Our village will suffer much should the gods be angry. We must rid ourselves of the lamp. End of Chang. Death! Death to Chang! Burn the evil books! Die, wizard! Please, you do not understand, and they never would. Because he is dead, now we will smash this. But, no, the emerald glow again. 3 times I shall flame. First to bring death. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Look at the little skeleton hand. Ooh, just the image of what? Did it burn away their skin? I don't know what it did, but it fucked them. It fucked them up. Moving on. From that time, the lamp made of the star heart passed through many hands. Though it did not flare again for many human years, it brought luck and fortune to the good of heart. While to the evil, though, they might indeed conquer their corner of the earth, in the end, it brought destruction. So there it goes. It helps out good people and it hurts bad people. And I guess this is to allude to the fact that perhaps this lamp is the same lamp that contained the genie in Arabian Nights, but who knows? And then, I don't know, who is this? Genghis Khan supposed to be? Some kind of conqueror. Then one day, in the 4th decade of the so-called 20th century, it was found by a trio of adventurers as they tracked the pirates of the China Seas, and was brought to America, where eventually it was left outside an institution just north of Gotham City. So fairly close to Batman and where all that's going on. The Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane. Yeah, the Green Lantern lamp at one point was in Arkham Asylum, in the hands of that same insane person. Oh, Joe, look at this curious old lamp over there in that trash can. It's in a trash can. I'll bring it to old Billings, Mr. Smythe. He's a harmless old coot who likes to work with metals. Ere long, the patient who had killed his broker in the aftermath of the crash of 29 transformed the Chinese lamp into something different. What a pretty train lantern. It will give such a lovely light, a lovely green light. So he reworks the metals and he builds it into a train lantern. Then, as the wick flamed, the radiance of the lantern began to swell till it seemed to fill every nook and cranny of the room. 3 times I shall flame. Second, to bring life. What's happening? I feel so... What am I doing here? It should be at my office before the market closes. So suddenly it just makes him sane again. He just brings him back from the brink. Soon, out of Arkham Asylum walked a sane man. In fulfillment of the second prophecy, I want to thank you for all you've done for me while I was there. Forget about being here. When you go out now, you're going to lead a new existence, a new life. And so only one task remained for the Green Flame, the bringing of power. It had taken many centuries for the lamp to come this far. It may have taken centuries more for me to find the right man to whom to bestow its final ultimate blessing. But it did not, for it was only a few years later that on a test run, a certain train was crossing a newly constructed trestle bridge in the American West. I'll tell you, Alan, I'm worried. Me too, whoever's speaking. Worried, Jimmy, how come? It's Decker. He isn't one to take things lying down. He'll try something. Why? Just because my company bid to build the bridge this lower than his? You may have been the engineer in charge of construction, Alan, but that doesn't mean you understand Decker. He's dangerous, I tell you. Jimmy Henton never finished his prophecy, as true in its way as the green flames. Cthulhu. I'm assuming that's the bridge collapsing? Yep. The bridge collapsed, giant explosion, everybody dead. For a long moment, all was silent upon the rocky shores below. Then a single figure staggered from the wreckage, his way lit by an emerald glow. Jimmy, oh God, he's dead. They're all dead. This lantern, I must have grabbed it while we fell, but what's wrong with it? It's... In an instant, the green flame made known to Alan Scott much of the story of the journey of his hands. And now, to tell you, I bring fulfillment of the third prophecy, power. I, who am green, are the plants. The growing things give you this power to shred over the dark evil things, for the dark evil things cannot stand light. My power shall be yours if you have faith in yourself. Lose that faith and you will lose that power, for willpower is the flame of the Green Lantern. Utilize a part of me to make me a ring of power, a ring which must touch the Green Lantern once every 24 hours. If I am not dreaming, I will do what the lantern says. Then I'm going to find out if this was Drecker's doing, and if it was, I'll kill him. Alright, let's see. So he goes to work. Reaching his office, Alan worked with tortured, feverish mind and nimble fingers to do as the green flame had bade him. A ring, it said, a ring made of part of its metal. It formed so easily, almost as if the ring were willing itself to be shaped. But as soon as he placed the ring on his finger, cold sanity replaced his crazed look. Why, I must have been mad. I wanted to kill a man, Drecker. No, I must fight him. Another way. But first I must find him, and I will. But I'm flying, but that's impossible. Or is it? The lantern said all I needed was willpower, and that's the one thing I've always had in spades. Next, I'll stop at Decker's place. Look at him going. Look at him flying. By Earth standards, it was a considerable distance to the suspected murderer's mansion. Yet, Alan Scott now covered it in seconds, burning the air like a green comet. You boys did a sweet job, all right. Now the government will have to take my bid whether they like it or not. They'll never know that some of the overhead they're paying is for the price I paid to blow the bridge. Oh, you sick fuck, Decker, you. Yeah, Mr. Decker, that's sure. Then suddenly, that wall, it looks like it's on fire, only green. What in the? Yeah, fires aren't usually green. Good gravy, that looks like Scott, the engineer, but he's dead in the wreck. It's some kind of trick. No, it's not. He ain't going down. This guy ain't human. What the fuck is wrong with this guy's face? He must be wearing a bulletproof vest. Use your knives, anything. Ooh, but they try to hit him with the knives, and the knives don't even work. Though he said nothing, Alan Scott was nearly as startled as they when the metal blade shattered against the emerald aura surrounding him. So the ring is keeping him alive. It's protecting him. And was probably even more shocked when a blow from behind abruptly felled him. Knock. Ooh, somebody knocked him out. Oh, because it's made of wood. He's weak to wood. I don't know why. But that's, because it's living material, I guess. I don't know. You were right, Mr. Decker. This ain't no ghost, or else I could have knocked him out with a wood paperweight. But Scott was only down, not out, and his antagonist swiftly discovered. Scott also realized about this time that even wearing the ring he possessed no more than his normal strength, but that was sufficient for his purposes. Only he and Decker stood now in the quiet room. What do you want from me? Stay back, oh God, you are a ghost, aren't you? Don't hurt me, please. He's not a ghost. Where are you taking me? Oh man, look at him go. Still, grimly silent, Alan Scott propelled himself and his captive skyward, and Albert Decker stared down from the dizzying heights above the fierce grandeur of the Grand Canyon. Until his own willpower was swallowed by a numbing fear. Please take me down. I'll confess to your murder. I'll confess to anything. Still not trusting himself to speak in his anger, Scott returned Decker to his mansion and... he has him sign a confession. Dead. I guess the shock was too great for him. Well, it could have happened to a nicer guy. That night, Alan Scott learned both the might and the limitations of his awesome new source of power. He felt, too, the tugging of a special destiny, one which would never let him return to being a mere engineer. Soon afterward, donning the garments designed to make him a bizarre and memorable man of mystery, he charged his ring and spoke for the first time the oath he had modeled after the words of the green flame. And I shall shed my light over dark evil, for the dark things cannot stand the light of the Green Lantern. So that's it. That's how Alan Scott became the Green Lantern. We saw it abbreviated, and then we saw the full bigger picture. But even still, we are not done yet again, because we have more. We have more to talk about. We have so much more to talk about. So let's talk about it. And from that day forth, light was indeed cast upon the shadowed corners of human society. Only weeks later, Alan Scott dealt a death blow to the plans of the corrupt contractors and public officials and his then native city of Metropolis, leaving the ring mark of the Green Lantern upon the evildoer's cheek. Boom! Punched him. Left a green lantern on his cheek. This was the final summer of the 1939-1940 New York's World Fair, a summer which found Japan still bent on the conquest of China, Britain besieged by Nazi Germany, France and much of Europe ground beneath the Fuhrer's heel. Visiting the fair, Alan Scott was dining at a cafe called the Condor when... Suddenly, nice looking girl, I haven't had much time for the fair sex lately. Maybe I should... Huh? What's she slipping out of her purse? It looks like... a gun! It's a gun! Who knew? Who knew the lady just had a gun? For a moment he watched like one mesmerized as the woman leveled the pistol slowly towards an unsuspecting patron standing by the cafe's fish tank. Then he moved with lightning speed. Anybody ever tell you not to point a loaded gun at somebody, young lady? It might go off. Ooh, he caught her. Man. I must have been mad, at least for a moment. I've never tried to hurt anyone before. Yeah, I'm not buying that, lady. You're going to jail. Well, your human target's left already. Never even suspected how close he came to being ventilated. You want to tell me about it, or would you rather talk to the police? Just call the police, dude. Look at her. Look at that face, man. She is not innocent. No, please, I'll tell you. I've got to tell someone. Her name was Irene Miller. Strolling through the fairgrounds, Alan found himself greatly attracted to her and strangely convinced by her story. Was it the fact that she almost tried to kill somebody, Alan? Is that what's got you all revved up? You goddamn psychopath. That man was Bart Murdoch, the gangster. My kid brother Danny used to work for him, till I convinced him he should go straight. When he tried, Murdoch's hirelings hit him over the head, poured whiskey over him, and drove his car into the sidewalk, killing an old woman. Framed for drunken manslaughter. Man, that's an intense one. Yes, Danny's in prison now, and he can't tell the truth about Murdoch for fear I'll be harmed. Look, let me go see a friend of mine and dabbles in criminal cases. Maybe he can help. The friend, of course, was the Green Lantern. Once again was spoken the oath that translated Alan Scott's willpower into action for 24 hours, and I shall shed my light over dark evil. Moments later, an eerie green radiance shimmered above a fabled skyline within seconds inside of New York State Prison. So he's going to the prison. Why? It's a nice prison, though. Look at that. It's very well drawn. I love the Dutch angle there. An inmate received a mysterious visitor whom no thickness of stone walls could keep out. Who are you? I'm known as the Green Lantern. Don't be afraid, Danny Miller. I've helped others, and I'd like to help you too. Irene went to the Condor Cafe to get Murdoch because Murdoch owns the Condor Cafe. He needed an excuse to be operating inside the fairgrounds because he wants to work a protection racket there. Oh, inside the New York Fair. I see what's going on here. What's more, the last thing I learned before I was framed is that he intends to steal the proceeds of the charity concert at the Hall of Music. The money's earmarked to fight polio. Should be quite a haul. Thanks, Danny. You won't regret telling me this. That concert must be the one being held tonight, so I'd better get cracking. Goodbye, Danny. Keep your chin up. We'll get you out of here yet. Just keep Irene safe, okay? She's all I've got now. At that very moment, in the fair's hall, the curtain was going up over the concert. As the box office outside... Uh-oh. Hands up, sister. Hand over your cash, all of it. You understand? Make it snappy. I've got an itchy trigger finger. They're not really subtle, are they? No, they're not subtle at all. All right, we got the money already. Let's get moving. Don't sweat it. The car will clear our path to the Great White Way, and we'll ditch it and lose ourselves among all the amusements. Yeah, look at his face. That's some Looney Tunes shit right there. With some of Murdoch's other boys starting a riot nearby to draw the cops away from the Hall of Music. What can go wrong? Look at them. What? They didn't have... Why? They're just running through people. It's stupid. Hey, where did that hand come from? That ring, I've heard of that ring. It belongs to the Green Lantern. Hell yeah, it does. And you're about to get your ass kicked, sir. Watch it. Smiler, we're going to crash. Straight into what? The water? Only one of the fleeing criminals managed to escape the converging police, and you would have felt far less secure if you had noticed the Green Lantern watching his headlong flight. Reasoning that when he reported back to Murdoch, events might truly begin to accelerate. Okay, well, that's something. Here are the proceeds of the concert, officer. Nobody got away with a penny. That should go to the battle against infantile paralysis. Oh, okay. Well, they were trying to steal from the paralyzed infants. So you know what? Yeah, they deserved it. That's great. Just one thing. Who in blazes are you? He's obviously the Green Lantern. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, buddy. That's the Green Lantern. Ask the boys in the car when you fish them out of the Liberty Lake. They'll be only too glad to tell you about it. And there's the guy. He's all mad. That's right, Mr. Murdoch. Everything was going just like you planned, just like clockwork. That means Judge Waco probably talked. He even squealed to the Lantern himself. Well, fuck. You deserve it, man. You're stealing from paralyzed babies. Go over to the judge's place and take care of him quietly with a knife. I thought we had him under our thumbs, but some guys never learn. But boss, what about, the reason Homer Wake's been fronting for you, even down to getting the Condor Cafe for you? That little piece of business I'll take care of personally. And oh, look at the fucking Green Lanterns just right there. These guys are incompetent. God, the criminals in these books are always so incompetent. First, I'll find out how you got a well-known honest man like Judge Homer Wake in your pocket, and then Murdoch, I'm going to take care of you. Is it going to be murder this time? I don't know. Unwilling on a hunch to simply burst into the room and attract Murdoch, Alan Scott followed the man to Judge Wake's townhouse. Murdoch says you sing too loud, so I gotta put you away. But I've told no one. Please don't. He's not hurting anybody, Judge Wake. The lantern. I knew I shouldn't have kept going till I hit the Canadian border. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe just not get into crime. If these books have taught me anything, it's that crime just doesn't seem to pay very well. It's alright, sir. You're safe now. But I want to know why you're working with a piece of filth like Bart Murdoch. I had to. He's kidnapped my little daughter. Holding her like a club over my head, I had to do what he said. Can't you help me? So that's it. I should have known. Talk, rat. Where's Murdoch holding the child? Or would you rather tell me while you're picking up your teeth? Murdoch will kill me if I squealed. I don't know nothing. What is he going to use the ring? Well, with every exploit, every adventure, Alan Scott was learning more about the weird powers of the Green Lantern ring. And one of those powers was a very potent form of hypnosis. Oh my god, he's going to hypnotize him. She's being held in a small room in the perisphere. Oh my gosh. He hypnotized him. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. That's crazy. Hello, Alan. I've been... the perisphere at the World's Fair? Yeah, she's in the perisphere. Certainly, I'll meet you there as quickly as possible. Okay, here we go. Great. I don't want to raise your hopes unduly, but my friend thinks he's on the trail of something, and he wanted you to be there if he's right. My friend, his name's the Green Lantern. You won't have any trouble recognizing him. Right. So what are we looking at here? Inside the perisphere, crowds of humans stood upon moving rings, gazing into wonder at the miniature democracy, which someone thought a vision of Earth's urban future, a little suspecting the far more terrible drama taking place so near to them. In a secret room high above. Hey boss, couldn't you have picked a safer hideout for us than this? We're right under everybody's nose, which is exactly why nobody's going to look for us here, you lime brain. How's the kid? She's a terror, boss. Couldn't we have snatched somebody easier to take care of, like maybe King Kong or the Wicked Witch of the West? You're all a bunch of creeps. Yeah, I agree, kid. Don't worry. Green Lantern's coming. When are you bozos gonna take me back home? My old man's a judge, you know, and he'll get you for this. Beat it. You're going for a ride, all right, kid. Only, hey, I'm stuck. Somebody want to give me a hand here? Oh god, look at the kid just beating up on these guys like a. How about a foot instead? Ugh, Jesus, these guys. I have no respect for these villains. They're not intimidating. They're not dangerous, and they're incredibly incompetent. And suddenly, boom. I'm really gonna enjoy this. He's gonna beat up the kid, but no, he's not. Well, what are you waiting for, Lardo? Oh, bullets. Here come the bullets. They always go for the bullets. No, sir. Even the green flame cannot know if it was the grim workings of fate or Alan Scott's angry intent. That the evildoers' own metal bullets, which hurled themselves helplessly against the Emerald Shield, became repelled instruments of their own doom. Oh my god. They ricocheted the bullets back onto themselves. They're so stupid. Till only Bart Murdoch himself remained standing. Maybe this Tommy gun ain't such a great idea after all. Yeah, you think? Alright, Lantern, you got the judge's brat. Well, call it even, okay? I don't make deals with would-be child killers. Don't try to follow me, masked man. I ain't kidding. I am not following you, Murdoch. I've been waiting for you. Possession of such a talisman was, as the power ring, is inclined to make mere mortals careless, and Alan Scott was no exception. He's gonna hit him with the wood, isn't he? Yeah, hit him with the fucking wood. Alan fucking Scott. Fucking wood. Why don't they just make bullets out of wood? Somebody's got to catch on to this eventually. I'm gonna look that up and see if anybody's ever tried to use wooden bullets on the Green Lantern. He did not reckon on Murdoch being so terrified that whirling he would lash out with only material which could have felled his pursuer. Stunned, Alan Scott staggered to his feet, and there, 200 feet above the startled onlookers, two men joined in deadly combat. This was the ultimate prize fight. For one, the prize would be life. For the other, death. While far below, that the guy you wanted us to see, lady, the Green Lantern, yup. Yes, but oh, can't you do something? Help him somehow if he dies. Look at him look at him. He's getting the crap beat out of him by a wooden stick. You're down for the count this time, Blondie. That ray of yours is pretty hot stuff, all right. But it don't do much good against a good old tick to the Labanza, does it? Oh my god, it's almost over. Let's finish this up. This is getting silly. Alan Scott was hurt, confused. His mind was too weakened by the first stunned blow to marshal time formidable willpower which had first drawn me inexorably to him. Yet was it aught but willpower which enabled his hand suddenly to reach out to grasp the very foot which was aiming a final lethal kick and throw Bart Murdock woefully fatally off balance. Straight off the perisphere. To his credit, Alan Scott tried to save the plummeting man. But in that instant, I knew it had chosen the right man to whom to bestow the gift of power. But the destiny of Bart Murdock was written in the hurricane, and the winds carried away his soul. Finally, summoning enough power to fly to the ground below, Alan Scott was first to reach the wretchedly twisted man. You're dying, Murdock. Before you do, why not do one decent act? Confess that you framed Danny Miller. Sure, I framed the kid. Nobody quits Bart Murdock. Nobody. He's dead. Did you hear what he said, boys? I got it all down. That'll free the Miller boy for sure. Thus did Bart Murdock escape punishment, but not justice. And thus the beginnings of the first human to call himself the Green Lantern. In those days before the Owens, Green Lantern Corps had made themselves known to the earth they served and protected. He was never formally one of that corps, yet he was worthy of the name as any who came before or after. I know, for I am the Green Flame. And it was the Green Flame telling us the story the whole time. Whoa, it's crazy. Anyway, that's Alan Scott for you. It's alright, he's cool. I can't wait to get into some of his more interesting adventures. He does fight some pretty interesting villains in the Golden Age, but those comic books are really low quality. I gotta find out some way to cover them. But yeah, I thought this was really cool. I thought I'd share it with you guys. If you liked reading this comic book and you want to read more comic books with me, why not like this video and subscribe to the channel? And if you're feeling really generous, I do have a Patreon you can donate to. But until next time, nerds, stay heroic.